Liverpool, everybody. We back. I got Salim. I got Gary to talk about this United game coming up. Uh, Salim, how you doing, man?
I'm all right, man. How about you, man?
Good, good. Can't complain. All right, let's jump into it. I think this game is the biggest in England. I think it's safe to say the rivalry, everything it means, doesn't really matter how good either team is doing. When these teams match up, it's always big, and I think this weekend will be the same. Obviously, early in the season, probably one of our worst performances. We've made a habit of, even when we had bad performances, still getting results, and more times than not getting wins. Obviously, this is the only team who were able to grab points from us. How do you see this game playing out, man? And have you been impressed at all with United of being able to just kind of stay in that top five, top six area?
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked there, literally. If we've been honest, like I think their front three is saving them from everything, and teams, like they sit back and they do that kind of attacking. So teams like they kind of confusing teams and all that. Yeah, it kind of surprised me because on the preview I made a prediction like they should at least be in the top six or top five before the season begin. But I'm surprised how they're hanging out, fighting for that top four spot. Other than that, I wasn't expecting anything because when you hired a PE teacher and you don't hire a technical coach or manager, you cannot expect anything from United. I mean, it was the spur of the moment that they thought this guy, oh, he beat PSG, oh, he's getting results. They didn't look toward like the whole season. So Ole's at the wheel, man. Let him stay at the wheel and let him continue what he's doing.
Yeah, Gary, you chime in. Gary.
I think he's muted.
Okay. So I mean, it'll be I think 30 points clear. We get the win at the week. Get the win at the weekend, and I think that's probably the biggest gap that's it's been between these two teams for a long time, if not ever. Um, so, Lane, it's just really good to see what Liverpool are doing, obviously now. And as much as I hate to say it, it's kind of reminiscent to what Fergie was doing, just in terms of not really coming into a big squad, not buying really. I mean, sure he spent money, but he had a project there and he built something really incredible there. And with the extension with Klopp, it just feels like this is something that could be a long-lasting thing, and to see the project actually come to fruition now, and the patience that we've had to take to do it. I mean, how crazy is it now to see how the tables have turned, and us kind of being at the not kind of us being at the top of football right now.
Yeah, I think people like look. You're right. He's he's doing what like Ferguson did for United, but let's not give like we gotta also give it to credit. Like if you look at the history of Liverpool, I mean the only guy I can see he's similar to also is Bill Shankly. I mean if you look at it like that, like the way he took from Liverpool from nothing to the way they were until the 90s. You know what happened then 2000s. Yeah, you can give the way it is and the way it's going on right now. I think it's going to be something that's longer in the future, and I think Klopp might actually decide to stay another 4 years again or 3 years, extend his contract, and at least go try to get close to the decade of 2020 to 2030. And when he's leaving, he's not going to leave in a way of like the way Ferguson left. They didn't have plan. They didn't have anything. They thought, oh, the foundation is there, the success is there, everything's there. Everything's gonna go the same way. Everything is gonna be like they didn't plan where like okay, downfall can come in. Every empire there's it cracks. So the crack was seeping in. So they cracked just like how Liverpool cracked in the 80 after the 90s.
Mm.
It's simple as that. And it happened. And Liverpool are taking the other turns. It happens every decade. Team changes. It
Yeah, and
changes
it's
the
good.
yeah. It changes the surrounding. There's literally nothing they can. No, literally, the people are gonna start talking like saying, "Oh, Liverpool VAR." That's. We could also say, okay, if VAR existed before, Liverpool would have won the leagues many times.
Hmm.
We got screwed over so many times because of refs and incorrect decisions. So I really don't care. And the success is coming thanks to club, thanks to FSG, thanks to everything, man. So yeah,
Yeah, I think once the season is over and we do have the trophy, I might change my Twitter name to Tainted Title. I like that it gets underneath other fans' skin like that. I love it. I love it. I love it. But people forget because for a long time, when you thought about the reason why I think up until now Klopp hasn't been mentioned. Um, Again, up until now, has been mentioned in the best managers around is because he was getting to a bunch of finals. Let's not forget that he was getting to a bunch of finals, and unfortunately, he wasn't winning them. Now that
seven
he's
finals,
yeah,
seven finals. He
now
lost.
now that he's getting them. But let's go back to Dortmund. If unfortunately he's in a Bundesliga where the best players from all the different German teams go to Bayern, and so if he was able to keep that Dortmund team together like he's and build like he's doing with Liverpool, that Dortmund team, I'd like to believe, probably would have won far more than they did win. So
Oh,
I just I
yeah.
just think I just think at Liverpool they're really affording him the time. They're affording him the space and the patience to build this journey. And I think that's something that we have to really be thankful to the club because in this day and age, managers are getting chopped and changed so fast. I mean, this season alone, there's been at least a handful of managers that have been sacked, and that's just all across Europe, but particularly in England. So I just think it's as much as people want to hate on Liverpool, you have to look at them and say they're doing it the quote unquote right way, and that starts at the top with the ownership, and we just they've just allowed him this much time, and so it's just a great thing. People need to just remember, he didn't just become a good manager. He's been a great manager as far as man managing, getting the best out of players. I mean, pretty much when you look across Europe and even now, there's so many players who obviously had talent, but something that he's doing is bringing that out more, and you're starting to put world class next to these players. Lewandowski was a nobody until he came to play under Klopp. So you just got to remember that this isn't just some new thing. Klopp has been a great manager, but because he's winning now, I think he's starting to get recognized as one of the best.
Yeah, and then if you I think like you can also look at it. If you look at a Dortmund, these players were getting bought by Bayern. Like I don't think Liverpool. That's not gonna happen because if you look at it, people are gonna. Oh, what about Coutinho? Coutinho left because he even told him, "Hey, stay here. They'll build you a statue.
It's,
Stay
it-
with the
it's a
project."
great example.
Yeah,
It's a great
he
example of the players always.
and I think like if you look at it right now, all our players they don't even have a release clause.
Mm.
Literally,
Yeah.
any team can come in and say, "Oh, we want that player." No, we're not gonna sell him. Sorry. And club
Mm.
and every player in the if you look at it, every TV comes out, who do they give the most props to? They say club, club developed me this way, club. No, even I was looking at an article about Van Dijk. He said even when I won, he downgraded my achievement, saying this and this. You're not there. He's not pumping him up. He's putting him back on the ground,
Mm.
like telling him, hey, this. Club is using tactics like like when you have a child, you say, okay, I'll give you this candy if you do better. That like you're trying to make him better, better, better by giving him half and half and half. I think that's the way he's doing with the boys,
Yeah,
and I give him props for that. There's
yeah,
nothing, there's nothing, there's
Mm.
no way. I know people are they were disrespecting because he lost 7 finals. But if Dortmund treated the way FSG does with club now and say we're not gonna sell our best players, any player you seek, whatever player you want, we will get you. And you and the director Michael Edwards are the ones that only could talk to each other and everything. I think Dortmund would have won many
oh yeah,
many titles.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Gary. You want to get in there?
No, I think you made a great point with Coutinho because I think that was like an example to all the other players that might want to think about leaving Liverpool that going the ball to Spain or Barcelona, Real Madrid, it's not all sunny over there. You know, you can become like, because the fans as well. The fans adore players, especially when players stay for a long time, and you know they're all obviously, you know what I mean, like they've been a great servant to the club. They adore them. You know what I mean, so and I just think that with Coutinho leaving, there was the example of these top players. I think, you know what, I might want to be Madrid or Barcelona this season. You know what I mean? Because as I said, the fans much different in Spain. Criticism is much different over there. And you just another player. You know, when you're at Liverpool and you're playing well, and you feel like Van Dijk, you feel like Man, you feel like a god. That's what you feel like there. If you're at Madrid or Barcelona, Bayern Munich, you just feel like another player. Just like Klopp did say that Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich, you just feel like another player. And where's Coutinho gone? He's gone to Barcelona and Bayern Munich. And what has he done? He's just another player started in their team. You know what I mean? So it's not. It's, as I say, it's a great example of these players that this is what could happen if you want to leave the club. And as I say, it's all down to Klopp, the Klopp and Michael Edwards and the owners, a bit of everything. You know, I said it's all good having a good manager, but you need the structure behind the football club. You need the right people around you to support you, and that's exactly what we've got. And that's why I think that if any other manager than Klopp comes in, I don't think it will be the same as we're doing now, because Klopp's the best manager in the world, but I don't think we'll be as worse off as United have been when they lost Fergie, or you know, all these other teams when they lost managers. So because of the structure they have, the club is spot on from top to bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of a like let me know. I'm gonna like I think Klopp will stay another 3 years or so. Like he probably leave 2029 or something. But I think the club is more
When do you think we'll leave? When do you think we'll leave?
2030 or 2029,
You think
somewhere
we'll leave
around that.
2029?
It depends. Yeah, it could happen. If he wins a lot of trophies, you could probably say, you know what, let me step back. And I see like Pepe. I think he will stay more. I think he will
I think
retire
he
at
might be.
Liverpool.
I think this 20. I know there was rumors about 2022. I didn't think he'd leave in 22 personally. I think maybe, but when he goes to 2024, I don't think Klopp's that guy to really stretch it in terms of going. I think 9 years, 2024. I think probably someone else will take over after that, in my opinion. But you never know what can happen in
But I,
2029.
I think it could happen. But I think Pepe Lenda is the one they grooming as of right now. I think he's the one doing a lot of interviews. He's the one the the FSG is looking at it. I see that way, but we don't know. So it's a long way to go. So we're not going to talk about that. But I think Pepe, the assistant manager, is the one being groomed as the next one to take, because if you look at it, we use the Dutch style of three at the back, five, and 2-2. Yeah, that's the style we use nowadays. When we building up, like we have two in the back, five in the mid, and two in the front. So yeah, that's the way I see it. And if you look at it like club, FSG is giving him everything he wants. They basically telling him, "Do we're not gonna interfere. You are the director and the board of Tim Warner. That's it. We're not gonna come in. Y'all like other teams. Like you hear from the president, you hear from the owners. It's like the whole thing is combusted, right? Like for instance, from United, I don't see that happening to Liverpool yet.
Yeah, I mean, back on that Coutinho bit, I think that was a real masterstroke, and I know there's still Liverpool supporters around who, to this day, surprisingly, would still like to have Coutinho back, and that's fine. But Coutinho, we got a lot of money for him, and also there was some kind of clause, I believe, in there where if they did want a player from us in the future, there was a serious premium they had to pay. Not sure what that exactly was, but they made it. It just felt like it was a great deal for us all around. And Coutinho's not gone to just any clubs. He's gone to two clubs that, you know, at times in football were known to be far better than Liverpool were. Money wise, player wise, trophy wise. You know, Bayern and Barca are two massive football giants, and so it wasn't like, you know, this is what this guy wanted. And I think again, I never was a big Coutinho guy like a lot of supporters, and that just is what it is. But and so I do kind of make jabs at him and things like that. But it's only because, you know, I kind of wish he would have realized, you know, how good he had it at Liverpool. You know, and of course you couldn't really foresee the greatness that we're showcasing on the football stage right now. But at the same time, you know, I think it showed a mentality that Klopp didn't want his players to show, and that was impatience. And Klopp always had patience with his players from when he came into now, and that's shown. And he's gotten rid of some guys who were a problem in the dressing room or a problem on the pitch or whatever. But he's slowly but surely built a team that has just totally been dominating football. Same with Emery Chan. And so, I think now guys are really, especially now that they see the proof is in the pudding with this manager and the board and everything, that they see that this is where they need to be. And I think to Salim's comment, it would be a great thing to see him last that long, and also to Gary thinking that you probably couldn't see him go on that long. I'm in between because I feel like if we keep on this way, I think even though Klopp has never gone this long, I think maybe he could. I think maybe he could push on. If it's health wise, if he's good, family situations are good. I just feel like he's put so much work into this team that the extension was already an obvious thing. But who knows? Once he gets to the end of that, maybe he will extend a bit more. So, all in all, man, it's just good to see where we've gotten to at this point. Gary, your thoughts on Rashford? Obviously, he's been doing well so far this year. He might not play. I listened a little bit to Ollie's press conference, and I'm on the mindset that they're going to do everything they can to get him to play. If he's not there, do you see that as a really big blow for them, or do you think that they have some guys around there, Marshall and stuff, that still could give us a problem?
I mean, it's a blow for them because I think they just don't have enough quality options around. I think Greenwood, I think he's a good young player, but he's not ready yet. Daniel James, very one-dimensional player, just pace and not the ball and run. I think he's obviously probably been their best player this season. Marcus Rashford, obviously you got Martial there, but if I'm honest, even if he does play, I'm not bothered, mate. I'm really not bothered. I'm just not. It's nothing. As I said, it's nothing to be fearful of. As a good player, but it's nothing where I think, oh, if he misses the game, I think I think we're going to win without him anyway. Well, if United have him more, they don't have him. It's nothing I'm really depending on. I think Pogba would be a bigger miss for them. Obviously, he's out. So Rashford's a good player, but I think he can be easily stopped in these sort of games. And I think that it's a different as an Arnold coming up against him. It's not the 19-year-old or 18-year-old I came up against him at Old Trafford 2 years ago. It's a much more mature as an Arnold. And I can just honestly, I don't know. Listen, Oli on social was trying to take digs out today, talking about we're not going to go another 24 years that Liverpool that title. I mean, when Mourinho used to take digs, I kind of respected it because of a few years and what he's done in the game. But when someone has been sacked at Cardiff, managing Mould, when he's trying to take digs, I mean, I don't really understand what he's trying to do to the best team in the world. I don't know why he'd be opening his mouth like that. And he said, you've got a nice way of playing against Liverpool. I mean, this, as I said, the Manchester United manager celebrating 2 draws as an achievement against his biggest rivals. That just shows how far they've gone when they've got a manager talking like that, and when they're celebrating draws against Liverpool. You know what I mean? So that's it. I mean, even when we were so shit back in the day, or when we had all these defensive problems, we still went into it hoping for a win, and we'd be pissed off if we drew. Like we were pissed off when we drew 0-0 twice at home. Even away at Old Trafford, where we had Lovren and Clav in defence, and Mane was out Africa Cup of Nations, Coutinho was injured. We still nearly got a win, and we're disappointed to come away with a draw. You know what I mean? So that's what you need when you're going against Man United. It doesn't matter how bad or good you are. You always need to go in that mentality to win. And I don't think United are going to really go into that. I think they're going to see a different animal. You say you beat PSG away, beat City away, but we're a different animal to compare to both those teams, and we're going to show that on Sunday.
Yeah, that should be the aim. And the things that Ollie's been coming out saying is, to a degree, you feel like, okay, this is the manager of the team that we're playing. This is one of our rivals. To a degree, you kind of understand some of it, but some of it's gone a bit too far for me. And again, hopefully Sunday we're able to shut them up, because the truth is, we haven't been great against United of late. That's just the fact. And so on that, it's like, okay, cool, but let's see if he can walk the walk on Sunday. Salim, they were able to somehow nullify a lot of our joy down the flanks, particularly with the fullbacks, which was something of a surprise for me at that time, because although the season has gone on and you can see how good our fullbacks are, we knew how good they were then. But what do you think is them coming to Anfield? Do you think you'll see a lot of the kind of defensive and then counterattack? And obviously, he spoke about saying that he's found a way to beat us or do well against us. So, how do you think Ole is going to set up against us away from home at Anfield?
When has he ever been this? I'm confused. I'm wondering. He's been a draw 0-0, 1-1. Yeah, yeah.
I meant to say he figured out a way to
No,
get a
no,
good
yeah.
result.
I mean, yeah. It's sarcastic way. I mean, it's a win for them. So
Yeah.
it's a win for them. Let them have that win. Look, for me, the way we play Liverpool, to me, the way I find is anytime we play United, we play to the occasion, not Liverpool FC's game plan. That's what I'm confused. Why are we playing to the occasion of the because it's a derby and anything? Just play to the game. Like the way we played against Everton, we didn't play to the occasion.
Yeah.
We just played like it was. Nah, forget about derby. We just played through. It was like a regular game. Any team we were facing. So and the way like I looked at Sky Sport and he said was it the way he said he stopped them because he finds a way to stop us. I think last time what they put was their fullbacks up high, right, to nullify our fullbacks from going. That's what they did, and I think Klopp is gonna say, you know what, screw that, just go forward, and he might put in Ox in the middle and X as number 10. So the formation will be 4-4-3, but when we're playing, it's gonna be weird formation. It's gonna be a very different formation. You'll see sometimes Salah drop in the middle. You'll see Salah sometimes act as number 9. You'll see Mane go act as the playing that striker position. So that front two is going to switch and is going to do a lot of weird rotation to nullify anything that United back 4, back 3, whatever they do. And if they go back 4, we'll see how Klopp kind of negates them from negating our fullbacks from going forward. So it depends on what we do in the flanks, the two flanks, the fullbacks. And it's going to be up to Salah because the way they have nullified Salah is a mystery for me. He even said it. You saw the interview with Sky Sport. He said they have found a way to stop me from doing anything, and he's been dropping disaster class against them. So
I didn't know he said that. I don't really like that he said that. If that's true, but
it is. They nullified him. He said I think this game is up for it. So he's probably said he's been studying them, and he's been. He said something along the line like that. So we have to find a way. They have nullified our front 3. Only Mane has scored against them. So we gotta find a way to negate that. So whatever we do, if they are stopping us from the flanks, we gotta attack them right through the midfield. Like we gotta have like somebody play as a number 10. And I know people want Fabinho back. I will hold him off. For me,
yeah.
I would literally hold Fabinho off. So put Ox in the number 10, play him his favorite position, that central go attacking midfield, like that will act as attacking midfield. Let him play that, and you can have Genie and Henderson as act as a 2 defensive, 1 defensive, and like they can become one defensive midfielder and 2 defensive midfielders when the formation is changing in the middle of the game. So yeah, that's how we're gonna negate. I think Klopp to me is really studying this game for them because he literally said in the press conference, why are they? He said every time they come, they just sit back and park the bus. That's what they literally do, and they just go long ball. Hopefully Rashford or Danny James or whatever the Martial scores. That's the only thing they're doing. They're not doing anything other than long ball to their wings and hope for the best somebody scores for them.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we used to struggle with those kind of teams, but that kind of setup doesn't bother me anymore. Gary, you want to chime in?
I don't know one thing. I think Gomez playing this game is going to be the key because Gomez is going to negate Rashford and Daniel James, whoever is coming, because we have Matip is not fast as Gomez, but in the area, if it was a big mid striker, he would win. But Gomez right now can win that battle of speed and tenacity and all that things. So Gomez will be the key to this game.
Yeah. Gary, did you want to chime in?
On what? On what was the question you said, mate?
Oh no, I just thought I heard you. I thought I heard you trying to chime in earlier when Salim was talking. But
Oh no.
So let's get into the lineup. Salim brought up some things there, and I think it's mainly the midfield that we need to focus on. Salim, so you're going. You would go with an Ox in the midfield.
Yes.
With Genie and Endo, or Genie and Fab. Or?
Yeah, Genie, and Hendo. I think.
Okay.
Look, we can put Fab back in, but this is a big game, and he just came back as a match fitness. He needs a match fitness. So,
I wouldn't want to see Fab. I mean, not that I wouldn't want to. Obviously, I would, but I think this might be a game too early for him.
Yeah, if you bring him in the 70 minutes to get him 30, 20 minutes game time for the legs, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, depending on how the game is. I have a sneaky feeling that Lallana will start this game. Ox also it's just. I mean, let's be real. I mean, he looked good in the midweek game, I think it was, and then he looked okay. Not. Well, I mean, the game before Spurs, I thought he played.
Everton.
Yeah, did he not play in that game at all? Didn't he come on at the end or no?
Yeah, he came on and he
looked
played
pretty
against
lively.
Spurs.
And that was surprising to see him even looking that good against Everton. I don't think he was great against Spurs, and it was slightly disappointing because that's
I look at it the way Klopp sets him up. Like he tells him like to sit back and like our midfield, because when the wings go, our midfield will stay back. Usually one midfielder will stay in the middle of the box, the final third of the box. Other than that, like if you look at Ox, he usually he goes with the front three. He attacks them when he's given that freedom. But when he's told to sit back, that's when his game is you kind of handicap him, but about 50% of what he can do. So you tell him to play 50%.
Yeah, it's so hard to even call because I look back at some of these games and on first view I don't notice it, but when you look back at them, the formation is so fluid. I mean, and any one of our players can be anywhere on the pitch at any given time. And I just think Klopp has fully trusted them. So sometimes you could see, 4 or 5 people in the opposition box, and the other guys just know to drop back, and you'll see maybe if Milner's playing or whoever, drop back to a fullback, whatever. So there's times where on the counter, maybe Trent and Robertson have flip-flop sides, and then on a throw-in or whatever, they go back to so it's just such a fluid thing, and I think that's why for me, a lot of times it doesn't really matter if it's 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, 4, because it can be one or two different things at any given time. So yeah, I mean the midfield is usually kind of the main talking point unless we have injuries, and yeah, I just Ox wasn't great. I think Lallana has been quietly a really, really almost unsung hero in this team this season. Obviously, he was the one who got us helped us get the draw in the first game. So I don't know. I just have a feeling that he might start. I even think there could be a shout for maybe Minamino somewhere from the beginning. Maybe not, but I also think that he could start or play a role in this game coming off the bench. Gary, what do you think about the midfield, man?
I'll probably just go with the same team, to be honest, mate. I'll go with the same team that we played against Spurs. I thought Lallana was good against Spurs when he came on. I thought he was decent against Everton. But for me, I mean, Chamberlain, I'm not sure. I'm in the second half, I thought he was poor. That's why he got subbed off in the 60th minute. I thought in the first half, he wasn't that bad, to be honest with you.
Yeah, a bit
I thought he made I thought he made some good passes in the first half. Could have scored to the post. Linked up quite well with the right. But I thought in the first 15 minutes, second half, I thought he was really poor. I think that's why he got taken off as well. Just a bit more control of Lallana in the midfield, and obviously it worked out. But for me, I think I'd love to see in this match. For me, he's always I've always liked him. I think gets on the ball, moves forward with it. he just did something different in that midfield that he gives us, and that's what I like about him. So I think he definitely has to start for me. Lallana, I think on the bench for me, I wouldn't be enthused too much if I saw him start. I mean, listen, he's a good player, but for me, Chamberlain for me has to start now, especially with the injury now. He had a few matches off, needs to get back into rhythm, and I think you need to give him some matches in order for him to do that. Just like when we did with Gomez, and all these other players. That Chamberlain, when he gets into the rhythm, he's a brilliant player. And he's had a few stop-start problems, especially with this one. So he's been on the bench as well a few times, but before he got that injury, it was looking good, starting games. I think he should be starting this one, to be honest with you as well. Minamino, I think maybe obviously he didn't come on against Spurs at all. He was on the bench. I think he could. I think he probably will get some minutes in this game. Shaqiri's back obviously as well. That's gonna be interesting. Obviously got a couple goals against United last year. Origi's on the bench. Fabinho's on the bench. Fabinho and Matip are going to be back on the bench. So the team is slowly starting to look stronger again, which is brilliant to see. And we're going to have a much more stronger bench with more options. As Minamino, Lallana. When Kea comes back, that'll be good. Shaqiri, Origi, all these players, Fabinho, Matip. So very, very strong bench, and it's looking good for us. But I'd go with the same squad against Spurs. But as I said, don't be surprised if Klopp does something different, because he's a sort of manager to make a surprise change or something. And it's not really surprised us, because obviously he's been our manager for a long time, so we know what we can expect from him. But I think for me, staying start 11 against that was against Spurs, start again against United.
Yeah, yeah, man. It'll be interesting to see. I think either way, and we always say this going into this game, we for the last few matches, I would say we've had the better team. Of course, they've had times where they've had injuries and things of that nature, and still were able to get, like Salim said earlier, probably what they would consider a win, or at least a positive result, especially when they came in thinking that, the form we were in, how good we were, we should be able to beat them, especially with them having injuries here and there. So, yeah, really looking forward to it, man. I think for us, again, it's just one game at a time as usual. And I think I know it's United, but and the players will know what that means, and obviously want to get the win, regardless of who it is. But because it's United, it's just that much more special. But I just think the best thing is just to look at this as another game, and taking it again. This team has proven that they have really gone by that, if you want to call cliche, and it's just one game at a time. And however we had to take it to a team, however we had to beat them, whether it be 1-0 and set up shop defense, and play defense, or just totally just smack up a team, that we found ways individually in each game to come up with the victory, and come up with the performance that it took to get that victory, to get those points. Obviously, besides the United game. So look forward to seeing more of that. Obviously, if Rashford doesn't play, again, it is a big loss. I think the midfield of Matic and Fred just shouldn't be anything that, yeah, that shouldn't really be anything that we have to even really be concerned with. I think the guy James offers some speed, but again, we're going to a game where I just feel like it's not even close on paper. But we got to make sure that we have a good performance come Sunday. So, Salim, is your mic working or? All right, Gary, what's your score prediction,
man? Score prediction. Well, we've been on 16 sheets in a row in the Premier League. So I think we're going to make it 3-0 Liverpool.
Okay. Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
3-0 Liverpool. Okay.
Yeah. My mic is going out, so I'll call you guys. I'll be.
It's fine, man. We're gonna wrap up soon in a little bit, but yeah, I'm gonna go 2-0. I do feel like as good as we are, and as much as I feel like we should be dominating this team, and may go out and do that. It is Liverpool. It is United, and it always seems to be a game that presents us our fair share of issues. I do think we'll continue with the clean sheets.
I think it'll be different. I think it'll be different this time. I do think that we're gonna really go for the kill here. Honestly, I think that's what we need to do. We need to go out there and really go for the kill straight from minute one, and no resting. Absolutely batter them. That's what I want.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would be great. I would absolutely love to just kind of sit back and have no worries and see Liverpool dominate, and they should do that. I mean, they have more than enough capability and power and the tools to do it. especially with all the chat that their managers had. So that would be great. That would be great because I think there's still this idea that in some United quarters of the fan base, whatever, that somehow they do get the better than us and the better of us, and maybe that somehow they're still in and around our level, at least on the day when we play them. So
and they think
good.
And they think the better of us is a draw. That just shows the mentality there.
Right, and that just shows where the two different teams are too, because they would gladly take a draw in this game. If they were guaranteed a draw before the ball was kicked, they'd take it. And that would be they ruined our season because they took 4 points off of us, or I'm sorry, 2 points off of us, or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, no, I'm really really excited for it, man. It's almost disappointing that we have to wait that extra day, and it's not tomorrow, but it'll be worth the wait when it comes. Good.
Yeah, I would say it's been a nice week, just the sort of January period, because we had a lot of football in December. It's been a nice little week without football, just to relax a bit without it. I mean, but we come back straight into it. Straight into it. I can't wait until Sunday.
Yeah, and Salim, what's the time here in the States? What is it? A 12:30 kickoff?
I'm
11:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
10:45. 10:44.
Oh, it's 4:30. The kickoff's 4:30 in the UK, so for you, Aaron, it'll be 11:30 a.m.
Yeah. 4:30, 11:30 kickoff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Look forward to that. Yeah. So big game. Obviously, United do come to town. I thought it was hilarious that people asked Ole about a coach. Situation. I'm thinking. I don't know if people realize that. Yes, I know it's a big game, but United is not even in my thought process of that. Like, I mean, at the time, City was, it started to become a rival, and it was Champions League. But I can't imagine that. Look, it might happen. I don't know, but I just don't think many people really even have United on their minds like that. I don't think it's that big of a thing, and that's based on just, yes, the rival is there, but they're just not really in our league.
They're just another team that's in our path, and we're going to steam through all of them.
Yeah.
What did you say, Salim? Oh, your mic's breaking up a little bit. Anyway, yeah, man, thanks you guys for making time. We will try to rally again sometime between now and the end of the match on Sunday. Everybody has time. But, yeah, really, really big game. Can't wait for it. I think, the fact that we can be 30 points clear of United is just massive. It's almost a joke thinking about it. It's showing how much the times have changed. So yeah, you guys have a good Friday, and we'll be talking again soon.
Nice one. See you there.
Enjoy, guys. Enjoy the game Sunday.
Right.